I'm building a built-in wardrobe. We've got a very small dressing room. It's not really a dressing room, it's just a very small room. And I just put a pole in there, basically. You'll see in this clip here that the pole is just bowing. It's not really suited for purpose or maximizing the amount of storage that we get in that room. So come up with a design. I'll stick that on the screen. That design allows us to maximize the amount of clothes we can store in there and, still allow us to walk around that space. But what it does mean is that none of the cabinets can sort of be bought, or at least my excuse is they can't because I want to build them. So I've got all this wood here. This was for a workbench project. I'm just going to go ahead and use it for this, and then I'll build the workbench with some more wood. Then I have to buy. Oh no, what a shame. I've got my iPad. That's got all my measurements I need on it. Basically, I know the parts I need to cut. I've got the wood to cut. So I just need to do it. So set this to 500. I'll get onto those lines, clamp it down, this to the bench. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that process with the two side pieces. So now that's done, just need to cut brace support pieces. This. Final thing to do, cross-cut, so using the cross-cut sled. The distance I need, which in this case is 764. So you should hopefully see, put some screws in, there, all the way down on one end. And I was going to do the other end, but I think I might put this brace piece in first. It should help keep everything a bit more square while I assemble. This is going to be the back of the cabinet. Just make sure it's perfectly flush in all corners. Tighten it up. The box is built, so I need to sand the edges and then I can go put it into place in the room. But before I do that, what I want to do while I'm in the garage is mount the hardware for the hangers. Right, I've got the pole in, I've sanded off the edges. I'm going to take it inside for a test fit.
Oh, that's good.
And then shuffle it up your hands. It's like it was built to measure.
Did you build it to measure?
So now I've got three measurements. I've got 50 deep, 16.5 to the shallow point, and then it's going to come at a 45, hopefully, to 66.8. 16.5 is there. You can see now that the edge is flush with there. I've trimmed this to be flush with there. So when I put this on the wall, I know this fits, so this is going to fit. Bring back my shelf. So this should now perfectly fit there, and indeed it does. So now I can just go put these in. We're we're ready to put this all in. As you can see, I've double-sided taped, ready to be put on the wall. So I'm going to use my laser level thing, find out what's level with this, and I will then screw in the batten along here, level with that. The red line is just clipping the top of this, so I'm going to follow that line along. Yes, let's get the drill. So now I've got 3 holes. I need to swap the drill bit, 8mm bit. This one will hopefully not damage a wire as well. Right, here's to hoping. Nice, good stuff. 2 to go. 1, 2, let's do that. Put my spirit level on, come down until it's dead center, like that, and push it on. Okay, I've lined it up with my mark. I've put the spirit level on. Because this is plywood, I obviously don't have to put plug in, so I'm just going to drive the screw straight in. Oh, nice. It's going well so far. Same again for shelf number 3. I've done that in the exact same way. So now I'm just going to put the final strip here that will eventually take the top shelf. Because my laser level will no longer reach. Stand on my stool. Nice. And then I'll put the spirit level across, obviously ensuring it's level like that. And I'll mark with a pencil where that is on the wall. I'll then come from that mark and I'll make a couple of marks all the way across the wall, ensuring that that stays level. So now when a top shelf goes across there, it'll be, you know, have somewhere to sit. Okay, day 3. This is the top shelf. I now need to make the top shelf that sits on top of the cabinet. So hopefully this makes more sense. I've got my sheet, I've got that. Now I need to figure out how big this is. Fuck knows where my tape measure is. Tape measure found. 55.3. So that's alright, because that means I can cut it down to 50. So there's 50. So I need to cut that off. Trusty track. Moment of truth. So this goes in up here. And then hopefully.
Wow.
And I haven't got my tape measure, but that should be 300mm. And a shelf will come across. So if we look around, I have got wood over here. That's going to form the base unit. Got some plywood here, cut into strips already for me, and then some more plywood here that is cut into the big long unit for the tool wardrobe. What I need to do now is take my very, very scientific drawings that I gave to the people of where I want my cuts to be and figure out which pieces are which, and therefore which pieces I need to cut down into what. Four. So I did not do that, and neither should you. No. Okay, so 4 spacers at 684 by 20. And I guess I'll just rip them in half. So those are my spacers. How did that happen? Anyway, it's weird. So now I need to do the 680s. Final thing to do is to add a load of pocket holes. I must now sand. Oh, okay. I'm going to assemble the big tall cabinet. That's so I can move that to one side and sort of not think about that for a while I build the base. Can you see that the wood cups slightly? I think it's cupping that way. I want the cups to face inwards so that when I put the spacing block in, the tension is going inwards and keeping everything rigid. So if I hold this up to you, look down it. So the cup is going that way. So this is the inside edge. An O for outside. This is my 600mm top. And I want that to sit like this. Lift this up. So this is going like that. Here. Not only do I have a small workshop, but I film everything I do. And okay. Sadness falls the microphone as its lightning connector has now snapped off. Here's what I'm doing. Pocket holes are on this side. That's going to go like that. Okay, what I decided to do in the end was bring it to the edge, put the spacer in it, and I could pin it in place first and then come back and drive in some screws. So now I can flip it up and then drive in the pocket screws with a clamp on it. Okay, so this is what I meant. Did not think this through. This is not dignified. Okay. Born again. This is what I meant by that. So I flipped it onto its side. I can now access the pocket screws. Oh, I'll take the whole thing. Flip it up like that. So you can see what I mean there. The wood is curving that way. And then same, this wood is curving that way. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to do the same down in this corner. What I need to do now is build the subframe on which this and the other unit is going to sit. And I have got some measurements that I'm confident in. It's there. First this. This is what a small human looks like.
That one. Look, Harry, that one there.
Yeah, that's going to come in a second, isn't it?
That's a big one.
If we bring it as close to me as it can go,
Yeah.
and then we start lifting it with
Yes.
the angles.
Agreed.
Problem solving.
Do this.
Yeah.
Push, 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 mode push, and stop.
And then start shifting.
And push, push, push.
You get it above
and
the
angle. Mode push. Oh, perfect. And mode push. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm so comfy. I have hit my head. With the angle. Now it is. Oh shit! Where is the? Oh, the panel is on the bottom. It is on.
Okay.
Now we push. Fantastic.
Oh! Cabinets are in. They all fit nicely. You can see here I've messed up the level. This was meant to be the same height as this. Don't worry, the shorter hanging things are going to now hang in this one. And we're going to put a drawer on top. So there's the top of this cabinet is going to sit just underneath the windowsill. Okay, hopefully you can see. So I've got the stretcher going across. I'm going to pocket hole screw it in. Also attach that one to the wall. I'll do the same in the middle, same on the edge. Right. So there you go, cut. Fits pretty nicely in the gap. This cabinet is meant to sit right on the 45, but you can see it slightly overhangs it. So I can't put a face frame on until I resolve that gap. So what I've done, I cut a bit of wood to the same thickness as that overhang, stick that bit of wood in to place, and you can see it now perfectly aligns with the corner. So I'll pin that into place. Now I've got these 4mm thick bits of wood, and they're gonna go on the edges to remove all plywood edges. So I just need to put them in place, scribe a line, go to the garage, cut it, and then bring it back. Okay, so going in, cut it to 45, as you can see. And if I push it right up to the edge and then bring it down, we're pretty bob on. I'm gonna pin this one into place and carry on. So something I failed to account for in the design was the fact that the dressers have this lip that comes out. So what I've done, I've added this spacing strip. I cut it to 18mm thick to match the plywood, and then I just measured the total gap. So I'll pin that into place, and then I'll pin a face frame in front of it. So as mentioned, that brought it out to the edge of the lip, and I can now stick on the face frame that I bought, and that has to now wrap around this door. So I tried to get that as accurate as I could. Also, you've probably seen here that the nail blew through, so I'm gonna have to at some point chop that off, and then I'll fill the hole left by the chopping off in. Moment of truth. Holy crap, that fit. Oh my goodness, it actually worked. I'm gonna put this. It does. This should be it. It's hard to explain what I'm doing just here, but I've got a shelf that needs to run along the top here, just like this one does. But I very stupidly already put my face frame on there. I don't really want to rip it off. So what I've done to correct for this is I cut a little 4mm notch out of it so that that can sit behind there. And then I cut 18mm remaining, which is what that gap is there. So this thin bit is going to slide up there, and then the rest is going to slide across. And then I've cut a back spacer, which is this. I've pre-drilled some holes in it so that when this goes up here, it'll sit in flush. I can drill through those holes, find where my plugs need to go, drill those out, put those in, and then this can be attached like that. So that's in temporarily, so I can then figure out where the other one's going to go. So I'm just framing out. I've cut the angles to match. This angle will match the end piece when it goes across the front, and then I'll just drive my drill through those, same process as before. Frame is assembled. There you go, it's up. But not as sturdy as I thought, actually. It's gonna do fine for a top shelf. Okay, so the bridge is back in place, but you can see it's got a gap here. I think because the wood is slightly bowed that way, and I can't, with my own pressure, bring that gap down. So I've got this clamp on. I'll just tighten that up, start closing that gap down. There we go. And then I'm gonna try and drive these screws in somehow. Tight fit. Clamp off. I should be able to caulk that. So I'm gonna clamp this side and then drive that one in the same way. Okay, so I've got this piece in place. I need to just cut one to fit this gap. That is the structure fully done. Done. Here we go, cut this piece. Nice. take my pencil and just, that should be my skirting. And I should get right up to the line. So let's go see it in place. And there you go. It's not perfect, but it does fit, and it'll be good enough for caulking. Okay, finishing up. So you can see I've cut that one around the skirting. That's blocked that gap. I've got one final one in this shelf here. And because of the bracket, what I did is I just took out a couple of mil, so then this can sit flush. That is the framing done. I bought this white lining to protect the carpet while we do all the painting. I'm just using a card to poke it under. So just work my way along like this. Here we go. So I've got the gun, I've got my condom on my hand, I've got caulk. I'm going to go ahead and fill all these little holes. Okay, they're all filled. I don't know how long it took. A long time. Obviously it looks pretty crap at the minute, but I've got to come back and sand it. This is fun. Anyway, I'm just going to sand the rough edges still. You can see, for example, I've done this side. Obviously I've shut the door to stop the dust going everywhere. Got a dust mask on so I don't die. Yeah, ideally I don't. Nice. Wardrobe is effectively done. Now I'm just cutting the holes on which the clothes will actually hang. Hello.
Hello.
So come on in. Now to mount this in the right place, I'm taking my hanger, I'm going to space it in the middle, and I'm just going to mark where the middle of the hanger is. So I'm going to line up the middle of that with that line I just made. Then I'll draw my circle, so that's where it needs to go. Then I'm going to get my, what do you call them? What do you call them? Sockets. And I'll take my socket, coming into the wardrobe, lining it up with the circle, and then I will just draw where the screw holes need to go, and then drill those out, and then we'll just stick it on. Nice. Put your little thingy on.
Thingy-majiggy.
Thingy-majiggy. Thingy-majiggy.
It's gonna fall off the other end.
Oh, don't shred it. Where's my mini screwdriver?
To the rescue.
I don't think I've drilled a big enough hole. Progress.
Doesn't sound like progress.
It is progress. No.
What happened?
It shredded.
Why do you always shred them?
Unhelpful. I'm trying to come across as competent. Why am I not an octopus?
How did you do the other one?
I don't know how I did the other one. Well, that was completely hassle-free. Okay, so I am mounting the mirror. Oh, hello. Anyway, I'm mounting the mirror, and these are the holes. You can see there, sort of mirror these. What I've done is I've put some tape on, just drawn around where they are, and I've also poked right in the corner a little hole. I've also marked the center point. So I'm going to take this tape off, and then I'm going to go take it over to this wall. I'll measure the midpoint. I'll also measure from here to here, so I know when I put that tape on where the top of the mirror is going to be. And then it's going to be good. Held the mirror in place where we wanted it, scribed the top, and then down from there I measured 30 centimeters, which is the distance to the support bracket from the top of the mirror. I got to put the screw in so that the head stays out. Nice. You just stick your screws in so they just protrude out like that. You just get the back, you line up the old hole, and the same again here. You take the hole, line it up over the screw, hook it on. There you go. One shelf mounted. Yeah, kind of level. Here we are then, the final dramatic reveal. Here is the room. It is complete. Things are now stored much more neatly than they were previously. There's a squiggle that's made its way to the wall, which is essential for any room. There are shelves, which you just saw go up. There's some artwork to remind us that we have nice bottoms, and some sculptures to remind us what the end goal of any bottom should be. And yeah. Oh, the final thing to do is to add the drawers, but I can't be bothered to do that right now, so I'm not going to.